Hey everybody, we're going to be starting our devotions from the doc series. We have to be real creative these days with all the things that we're doing together as church. And I had thought of this devotions from the doc a while back, but hadn't really followed through with it, trying to do some other things. But we're having our Zoom Bible study and doing some online worship, and now hopefully try and get out a regular devotion from the doc. Today I'm gonna use something from the Colossians Bible study that we're doing. There's just a beautiful spot that I thought might be a good reflection for this week, and the devotions hopefully just be like a little 5 minute thing you can explore, and then hopefully pick up the verses your own after. I'll try and embed them in there so you can see the verses. So the Apostle Paul writes a letter to these people he had never met at Colossae. Someone had come and visited him in prison and told him about some of the issues there, and he writes back a letter to them. And I'm going to just dive in. The wind is blowing. Just going to try and dive in a little. Oh, and by the way, it's been like 1,000 degrees this week. That's why no one's out on the lake right now. Everyone's inside their house in the air conditioning. So Paul writes this to them. And so from the day we heard, we've not ceased to pray for you. He has just said that he is thrilled that they are in a walk of faith, asking that you may be filled with the knowledge of his will and all spiritual wisdom and understanding, so as to walk in a manner worthy of the Lord, fully pleasing to him, bearing fruit in every good work, and increasing in the knowledge of God. Okay, let's think about that. Paul says he's going to pray for you. Let's say anyone says they're going to pray for you. What are you hoping that they pray for? What comes to your mind right away that you want to be prayed for? And Paul says he's praying for what? That they would be filled with the knowledge of God's will. That kind of takes your wishes out of it, doesn't it? Praying that God's will comes to the forefront of your life. We might not always pray for that ourselves, right? We have a wish list, and if God could just see things clearly, he'd see how this wish list is what really matters. So he prays for God's will and God's knowledge to come to the forefront. And concerning what? Spiritual wisdom and understanding. Doesn't pray that certain situations change. He prays for spiritual wisdom and understanding to be in them and with them right through this. It's amazing the spot that he wants to take these believers to. And think about this for yourself in your walk of prayer. And he prays that they walk in a manner worthy of the Lord. Okay, you could kind of take that maybe as a little challenge that you might not be walking in a manner worthy of the Lord, but there's something to wrap your mind around. Walking in a manner worthy of the Lord with spiritual wisdom and understanding, so that your life would be fully pleasing to Him. It seems like the ball's kind of getting taken out of your court with the prayer and the understanding of the world and the direction of your life. It's a wonderful place for us to go. The thought of living with compassion for the people around us, seeing the world through God's eyes. Certainly in these days, there's a lot of trying to get the world and others to see things how you see them. And there's a strength. There's a strength in walking with our will put back a little bit, having God's will at the front, walking in a manner worthy of the Lord so that we impact the world in a particular way. So I encourage you, open up Colossians chapter 1. That was just verses 9 and 10. And my prayer for you is that you feel Paul's words wash over you, you feel the thought of people praying for you. We're going to pray for each other as God's church. We are encouraged in Hebrews to support, encourage each other. And in these days where we're set apart, we'll try and have devotions like this, our online worship, pray for each other, send each other cards, call, and find that spot in this new way of being creative in walking in a manner worthy of the Lord. Today's devotion from the doc. Amen.